Hey everybody, One of Weezem here about 9:10 p.m. Monday, December 30th. Just introduced Series 2 Blizzard Chill. I am a big Chill fan. I actually do enjoy her. Think she's a very unique and well-rounded character. That said, what I decided to do, instead of continuing on with the Series 2 characters, Sprocket, Super Gulp, Pop Fizz, etc., I'm just going to go elementally. That just tends to be what I do when possible. What I'll do, I'll pull Blizzard Chill from the portal, and I am going to place, where is he? There he is, Anchors Away Gill Grunt on. We'll back out of here and we will take a look at his introduction. This is, I believe, his very first time on the Portal of Power. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Fear the fish!
Okay, yeah, definitely his first appearance here. Most disappointing thing is just seeing him come on the screen and he doesn't look like the Series 3 pose. I say that because the Series 3 pose is pretty dadgum cool. His Series 2 pose for Giants was also really well done. The Series 3 pose pretty nice, kind of showcases the Soul Gem, I believe. That said, let's see, he's at 45. So he is noticeably slower than the previous characters. He's 35 box stock, which explains it. Primary attack is actually the harpoon gun. See there, it does pretty good damage. It's kind of got a lag. I'm pressing it as quick as I can, but the good news is it's going to do 40 to 60. His secondary attack is Power Hose. It gets much better if you actually take Water Weaver, namely because it doesn't run out of water. Now, what I'll do is we'll use the Power Hose right here. 20 damage, but look how quick it runs out. Now, if I were to stand here in the water, it should in theory work. And it didn't, so I'm not sure what's up with that. I mean, I'm standing in the water as best I know. I still complete, so bad example, forget I was going to say anything. 40 to 60, and then 20 to 30 with the Power Hose. You saw it shoot off. It does have to recharge. You can shoot it before it's fully recharged. Obviously, it's just going to be done. He looks like that, jumping. Nothing too crazy. Typical Gilman fashion. Looks like his jetpack and harpoon gun weigh him down considerably. I just finished the other day Mask of Power, the second book. It involved Gill Grunt. It was actually a pretty good read. It featured Gill Grunt. Spiral is in there quite a bit, but the other two featured characters were Zap and Ramshell, surprisingly. So, pretty neat little story there. Anyway, we're going to come in here. Speaking of stories, we'll go to collection. Spyro's head, 48 overall now, and then 5 on the water element. So we're going to go ahead and click that. There's our guy, Anchors Away Gill Grunt, Series 3, slogan, of course, Fear the Fish. You know Gill Grunt, he's one of the faithful trio. He was around in the SSA starter pack. He came back for Giants, and here he is again. So, let's go ahead and read that bio. Pretty cool artwork there, I think. Fear the Fish, again, is a slogan. Gill Grunt was a brave soul who joined the Gilman military in search of adventure. While journeying through a misty lagoon in the clouds, he met an enchanting mermaid. He vowed to return to her after his tour. Keeping his promise, he came back to the lagoon years later only to learn a nasty band of pirates had kidnapped the mermaid. Heartbroken, Gill Grunt began searching all over Skylands. Though he had yet to find her, he joined the Skylanders to help protect others from such evil, while still keeping an ever-watchful eye for the beautiful mermaid and the pirates who took her. This was kind of a theme in the book, just because he was at Last Chance Cove, came across. He hates pirates for the simple fact, what they did to the mermaid. So he's still on the lookout for her. I won't ruin the book, but just know that it's not that big of a part. It's kind of casually mentioned. But the main thing, there's continuity. They stick to the background stories. That is very important in my mind for the franchise to do so. That said, we're going to back all the way out of here, get to the Skylander menu.
Looking good.
Okay, take a look at his stats. 270 max health, box stock, speed 35. It's Monday, plus 10. Armor 6, critical hit 10, elemental powers 25, box stock, currently sitting at 21 thanks to our collection. Now the upgrades, this is really the big deal. Begins with Harpoon Gun. You saw the damage it does. Press Y to shoot high velocity harpoons at your enemies. Secondary attack is Power Hose. Press and hold A to spray water at your enemies to knock them back. Not only does it do the damage, but it does push them back if you need that little extra time. First purchased upgrade, Barbed Harpoons. This is a nice addition. Harpoons deal more damage. Second purchased upgrade, High Pressure Power Hose. Power Hose attack does extra damage and knocks enemies back further. Third purchased upgrade, Harpoon Repeater. This one's vital for Gill Grunt in my opinion. Harpoons reload faster. Sounds insignificant, but it makes a big difference. Final purchased upgrade, Water Jetpack. This is pretty cool. Hold X to fly until the water jetpack runs out. Gain increased speed and armor while flying. I'm just going to say armor anytime I see resistance. That kind of bothers me. I don't like change, if you didn't know. But you get to the point now you can take your pick of pass. I remember I waited out, in SSA. I was convinced Harpooner was the way to go. It does some nice damage. It makes a difference, but Water Weaver, I regretted Harpooner in SSA, and then when I got to take Water Weaver with Giants, I kind of confirmed my thoughts. I think it's probably the way to go for Gill Grunt, but Harpooner, if maybe all you've done is Water Weaver, I would suggest you check it out. Begins with Quadrant Harpoons. Harpoons deal even more increased damage. Again, someday I would love actual numbers here. Second purchased upgrade is Piercing Harpoons. Harpoons travel straight through enemies and hit targets behind them. And the final upgrade down Harpooner, fittingly, and this is probably the biggest asset, Triple Shot Harpoon. Shoot 3 harpoons at once. Coming down now to Water Weaver, I think you'll see why I kind of believe what I believe. It begins with Reserve Water Tank. The Power Hose and Water Jetpack never run out of water. If this was tied in with the base upgrades, I would tell you to take Harpooner. Since it's not, I have to advise Water Weaver. This is huge. He can fly around. He can move quicker. This works well with his primary attack. Clearly it would work well as a secondary attack, but in terms of enhancing that tertiary and helping you set up the primary, this is, in my opinion, the best part of Water Weaver path. Second purchased upgrade, Boiling Water Hose. Power Hose attack deals even more increased damage. And lastly, Neptune Gun. When using the Power Hose, press Y to launch exploding sea creatures. Soul Gem, that was a justification I had for taking Water Weaver last time, just because it would then enhance the Harpoon Gun. Really, I am not a fan of this Soul Gem. It takes a long time to load up and use. The damage isn't outstanding unless they've tweaked it. It looks pretty neat, I'll give it that. But hold Y to charge Anchor Cannon. Now, the coolest thing though is going to be the Wow Pal. Series 3 Gill Grunt, he gets a brand new Wow Pal. It's not the same one he had in the Series 2 Giants pose. It is called Anchor Management. Charge up the Anchor Cannon and press A to do special damage. So we're stuck with the Anchor Cannon here, but this is going to allow us to do even more damage. I think that will change the way I feel about it. It's basically an enhanced Soul Gem is what this Wow Pal is. But his Soul Gem was very disappointing to me, so I feel like this is going to make it hopefully along the lines of like Hexes, where it's just like crazy damage. Maybe not that high, but you get the idea. Something that makes it worth using in my book. So I'll keep my fingers crossed there. I am anxious to see what it turns out to do damage wise. Plus it looks like it'll be that gold anchor that's actually featured in the pose, so that'll be nice. Let's see here. I'm gonna back out, come into quests. I've got a Minto in my mouth. I guess it's a Minto. I don't know if you'd say Mentos in my mouth. Never really thought about that, and I don't intend to start now. Bad Guy Basher, defeat 1,000 enemies. Fruit Frontiersman, eat 15 pieces of fruit. It has to be fruit, I've confirmed that now. Probably should have paid more attention to this. Flawless Challenger, don't take damage outside of story mode. True Gladiator, win 10 PvP. totally maxed out. Reach level 20 and purchase all upgrades for this Skylander. If you just despise Gill Grunt, maybe this is your first foray into the series, you think he's horrible, he's not as neat as Riptide, you think Punk Shock's going to be better, go ahead, don't hawk him or trade him for something. You can probably trade him for more if you fully upgrade him anyway with your friends, but that aside, go ahead, buy all his upgrades, get him to level 20, and then maybe if you take that Water Weaver path, or maybe you'd prefer Harpooner, you'll say, hey, you know, this guy actually upgrades pretty well, glad I kept him, or at least explored the path. Elementalist, cost 7,500 elemental bonus damage. The two big ones for the water-specific quest, Extinguisher, defeat a total of 25 fire golems, and Aficionado, catch 25 fish with the fishing rod. Gill Grunt's personal quest, Anchors Away, that's somewhat confusing, but it is his name, Anchors Away Gill Grunt, so it makes sense. Defeat 50 enemies with the anchor attack. That shouldn't be too bad. It'll encourage you to use the new WoW Pal. I assume the anchor cannon would actually work too, if you didn't want the WoW Pal for some crazy reason, but you get the idea. That is Gill Grunt. Really not much else to say. We know the character very well. Guess what I'll do now, we'll probably come in and do Sprocket and then Big Bang Trigger Happy. Kind of keep our elemental themes going on there. Once again, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. That'll keep you up with all the latest. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Be sure to check out the blog, oneofweezem.com. Tons of Skylanders information there. I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Again, thank you for watching, and we will be back to introduce Series 2 Heavy Duty Sprocket.